Playa TV.
What's happening? I'm Leo Playa and you're watching Playa TV. What's going on out there, YouTubers? Welcome to another video from my channel. As promised, a very long time ago, this is the video blog for my fan edit, Freddy's Origins, The Beginnings. Before I start this, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who have made this video ridiculously viral. I think it's on 1.8 million hits now. A lot of people, since I put the video up in, when was it? It must have been 2013 or something like that. 2013? Yeah, so 2013, about April 2013. So it's been online for about 3 years now. In that time, I've had millions of questions like, where's this scene from? What's happening there? Blah, blah, blah. So I've decided to do this video to explain my reasons behind there in the video and what inspired me and stuff. So I'm going to start this off by, I'm a massive Nightmare on Elm Street fan. Like, I got into I saw Freddy 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors when I was about 12 years old. After that, obviously I went to 4, 1 and 2. Then shortly after that, Nightmare on Elm Street 5 come out, The Dream Child. After that was Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, which was in 3D for the last 15 minutes. Then, yeah, Wes Craven's New Nightmares, which is brilliant. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. It's brilliant. It's dark. It's proper dark. Then we got Freddy vs. Jason, then you got the remake. Let me stop waffling on about it and tell you a bit about the reason. Now, in all the films, from one to Freddy's, all the films, in fact, even Freddy vs. Jason, there's always backstories to the character of Freddy Krueger and what he was before he became a child killer in your dreams, because he was a child killer when he was alive. Yeah, there's never been a film about it, but there's all these backstories. And I thought, you know what? All those backstories, you could probably put them together and make a little short film out of it. So yeah, I went through it. So I'm just going to go through all the scenes from start to finish. Freddy's story is being told to you by Freddy, and it shows the point where he gets burnt by all the parents. Those scenes are actually a mixture of Freddy vs. Jason, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, scenes from that as well. I think there are some scenes from Freddy's Dead in there. So it's got that bit from Freddy vs. Jason where he tells you his reign of terror was legendary, dozens of children fall. Like that beginning scene from Freddy vs. Jason. And then when you got the scene of them setting fire to the boiler room where he lives, and then after that, that's when it cuts to the beginning. So what we have there is I found the font, the Nightmare on Elm Street font online, so I could use that at the beginning. I've said it stars Robert Englund because it is actually a Robert Englund all the way through the film, apart from when he's younger. It starts off with the scenes from Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. That is actually a dream that Alice is having, where she's Amanda Kruger and she's about to get raped by the 100 Maniacs. But that scene, because Lisa Wilcox's character Alice is not going to be in this film, I just changed her to be Amanda Kruger. Then you cut to the 9 months later when Freddy's born. That scene's also from The Dream Child. That involved a lot of heavy editing, because that scene where Amanda Kruger gives birth in the film, Lisa Wilcox's character Alice is actually standing there watching the birth. So I had to cut her completely out and pretty much cut out the woman who plays Amanda Kruger, so she didn't look. I could say that Lisa Wilcox was Amanda Kruger in this film. After that, you cut to the scene of where he's in school and he kills a hamster with the hammer. This is where I started using my own special effects in there. That scene, you can tell in the original film, Lisa Zane's character who plays Maggie in Freddy's Dead. That scene's from Freddy's Dead, and she's inside Freddy's thoughts. This memory of him killing a hamster with a hammer in school. What I did is I had to cut around Freddy and all that. Just cut the background where she is, and in Photoshop, just paint over her. There's some sort of effect on there where you can get a section from another part of the picture and colour it. So I got another part of the wall and sort of then coloured that section, her over that with that wall thing. And then just stuck that JPEG or PNG or whatever the hell it is in After Effects. And then there's about 3 clips where where you see his hand go down. I had to erase out those little parts of that image that I had made on Photoshop. So his hand came down, his hammer comes down, you still see the hammer come down. On top of that, there was the scene where the kids were all going, son of 100, maniac, son of 100. If you watch Freddy's Dead, they turn into loads of old people. And I didn't want that. Because, obviously this is supposed to be a nightmare in the film, so that'd make sense. But in this film, in this short fan edit that I've done, it's not supposed to be a nightmare. It's supposed to be actual kids in the school having a go, like sort of chastising him. All I did there was I just reversed it, so it looks a bit smooth. If you look very closely, you can tell. So then we'll cut from that scene into the scene where Freddy's a teenager and he's cutting his stomach. Again, this involved heavily editing to get rid of Lisa Zane's character straight out of the shots. I just zoomed the pictures in a bit because obviously I was using 1080 footage, so I condensed the edit down to 720. So therefore, when you zoomed in, you don't really lose that much clarity. So I could zoom in and just about get her out. So the scene would just be between the guy who plays a young Freddy Krueger as a teenager and his dad, who is played by Alice Cooper. Then we cut to him being a family man, and he's married he's got his daughter, and those scenes are all from Freddy's Dead. And there's about 3 or 4 scenes in the film spread out throughout the film where this story's told. I think some of them are in Maggie's dreams, where she realises she's the daughter of Freddy Krueger. Spoiler. And then there's some other scenes that are in the last bit where she's inside Freddy's head. So I just put them all together to get this scene together. Now, the only problem I had was there was one scene where you see... there's other bits of this scenes where Lisa Wilcox, there's a lot of women in these Freddy films. He does kill a lot of them and all, doesn't he? Horrible geezer. Lisa Zane in the in real life, the actress, she's in a couple of these scenes, so I had to use that After Effects and Photoshop thing that I do to get her out of the scenes. I actually had to go and find a young girl crying and put that over the audio. I think there was a problem with, I can't remember why, because it was such a long time ago, but there was a reason behind me getting some a little girl's audio to scream, to cry and scream over this scene. And maybe if I go back and watch it, which I'm not going to do now because I'm filming for you guys, there's a reason, but I had to go back and do that. So after that, then there was a little montage bit in the middle. There was originally, in my original version, I did have like the story being written, but I showed it to a friend of mine and he just said it looks stupid. He said the best thing to do is just have a montage. Montages they can be quite corny, so if you put words over it, it would have lost it. So most of them are from Freddy's Nightmare, the pilot show. Another couple of scenes I used on there was from the remakes. And it's just basically showing that his reign of terror has started, but it also goes up to the point he gets caught by the police sergeant from the Freddy's Nightmare pilot. I had to do that whole After Effects Photoshop thing again there to get rid of all the parents who are in the background in that scene. So it just literally happens to be the police officer and Freddy. And then cuts to the court scene, which a lot of people have asked me about. That is from the pilot for Freddy's Nightmares, and it's called No More Mr. Nice Guy. Watch it. It's worth watching if you're a Freddy fan. Nothing special, but it is Robert Englund playing those in those scenes. I had a right problem here because I was using Blu-ray footage for everything else. All the films are Blu-ray footage. The only copy I could get of Freddy's Nightmare was a DVD, and it was really low res. So I had to bump it up. I used a noise. I used this software that I have, the plug-in on my computer to get rid of like a grainy noise on a footage. and then I tried to colour correct it as best I could, but it does still just stand out compared to the other scenes. If you watch the DVD, I think there's another episode after, which has got Laurie Petty, who played Tank Girl. I had a massive crush on her when I was younger. After the scene in the courtroom, then you've got the police officer and his sidekick, another police officer, in the police station. That's also from the pilot show as well. And then it goes back to the very first scene where you see Freddy killing a child. I've mixed that with a few of the pilot scenes as well, so there's a little bit of continuity between the two, because at this point I'm about to mix the pilot episode and the remake and Freddy vs. Jason and Freddy's Dead clips together to create his death scene. It was a lot of fun doing. Because it was the final scene in the episode. The first scene, you have the cars going down the road. That is actually from the pilot, Freddy's Nightmares, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Then the rest of the scene where you see the cars, they're all those scenes are from the remake in 2010. What I had to do there was a couple of those scenes where you see the guy, Jackie O. Haley, I think his name is, he's running away from the parents in this scene. And this scene in the remake is actually a nightmare a kid's having after he's been swimming. So you see a kid who's just in his swimming shorts. So I had to superimpose that kid out. I had to superimpose out the guy who played Freddy in the remake. So it just looks like the cars are driving up to the boiler, the place where Freddy lives. So all those scenes are pretty much from the remake, up until when they throw the Molotov cocktail into the window. As soon as it goes into the window, that becomes Freddy versus Jason. Then there's a mixture of the scenes from Freddy vs. Jason and Freddy's Dead, of the place being burnt up and him being burnt up, and then him being visited by the dream demons telling him they want to give him a job, which is store people in their nightmares and kill them. After that, you've got the scene of him running out of the room of that building and his head's on fire. What I did there, the scene is originally from the remake, so you see Jackie or Haley running out of that building and his face is on fire. What I wanted was to have that face as Robert Englund but on fire. So I had to look through all the footage I had of a picture of Robert Englund with his mouth like this. That was at the end of Freddy's Dead, when he gets killed in that. So I got that, made that into a still frame. Photoshop, I just cut around his head. Then I found some footage of his jumper. So I made his whole body just as still images. Then I superimposed some After Effects fire over his head. And I just put that whole thing over the scene of Jackie Earl Haley and sort of try to mimic him, that image going up and down with the video. So it looks like it's part of that. And then I just basically delete. I had to do this frame by frame. This took months, by the way. This took a very long time. I was on tour in Guernsey, and when I wasn't on stage or being a rock star or something like that, I was sitting in my hotel room working on this scene. So yeah, each frame I had to go through it and rub out each bit of rubber, any bit of jumper that was like covering a flame. So therefore, when you look at it, the flames are all over the jumper and his head and all that. And then the very last scene is from the pilot, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And he says that was in This Is Now, Springwood's Nightmares Are Just Beginning, slices open his stomach. That's all from the pilot. Again, thank you, all of you guys, for all your kind words and asking me this, that and the other regarding the film. I mean, obviously, a lot of people consider me to be quite a big Freddy fan from this video. You're very right. I heard the late Wes Craven did watch it. I'd like to think that's true. I don't know if it is. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. Thank you for all these films. I would love to know if Robert Englund's seen it. I know a lot of Freddy websites out there, Freddy Krueger websites online, they have got it on there. I mean, I'm a bit overwhelmed, actually, if I'm being quite honest. I didn't think this video would have such an impact that it is. I mean, yeah, it's been great. It's been great having everything that you guys have said about it, all the nice words, and I just really hope I did you guys proud. So, any other questions? Put them down here. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube. The button's pretty much over like there. Or is it there? I don't know. It's underneath this video anyway. I'm on Twitter, Player TV, or myself, Leo Playa. And I'm on Facebook as well. Thanks a lot. Keep watching my videos. That's what I can say about that. Also, come to gigs. I haven't done this before. I've always telling you to watch my videos, subscribe to my channel, follow me on this, that, and the other social media. Come to my gigs. Come to my gigs. You'll all be welcome to come to my gigs. They're usually in London, but I do go out of the country. I do go up north as well. Anyway, I'm signing out. Thank you very much again. Much love to you online. This is Leo Playa. You're watching Player TV. Peace.